Sorry, this is going to be voiceover again. So this piece of paper was just from some paperwork. I ripped off the confidential part and saved the bottom. I'm making sure it's the same size as the page that I took out of the book. And I'm going to use this as a glue page, so that I'll try not to get glue everywhere. Spoilers. This little girl is fussy cut out of a catalog. It was for children's clothes. I'm just using some matte medium hopefully with the hope of not having it be all warped and wavy. So she's in this cute little dress that has fruit all over it and is holding an apple. And then I had a fuzzy cut butterfly that was made out of foil paper. So it was copper foil. I figured it would go well with the colors in the dress. And here's the butterfly wing. I'm just using half of the butterfly for this. I still have an antenna and another wing that I can use somewhere else in the journal. It didn't completely cut out some of because of the foil on the paper. It didn't want to cut all the way through, so I figured that it kind of worked for this, since it's not the focal point. And of course I glued her down all the way. Had to peel back up so that I could get the wings underneath. I had kind of laid out the idea for this, played around before I started filming. These flowers were, again, I believe it was out of a catalog, and couldn't figure out how to make the stem work. Because in the catalog of the little girl, you couldn't see her feet, so I didn't want it to look like she was just footless. Floating for a fairy would be fine, but no feet, that's kind of sad. And again, I'm using the matte medium for this. Sorry I don't have much of a running commentary. hubby was home and watching TV, so didn't think you'd want to hear all of that. And this was again, out of a catalog, but this time it was a bead catalog, and it was a crystal focal flower that you could buy for jewelry making. But I figured it looked cute, like almost like she was holding a little flower bag. And I wanted to knock down some of the shine from the magazine and type pages. Here I'm adding the matte medium to the rest of the paper. I was hoping to make it so that it all felt like one piece. This is one of my small bottles that I had put tacky glue in. I was trying to glue down something. But of course, I made a mess. So here I'm trying to figure out what to do. And once I go clean myself up and change my clothes, I'm taking a scraper, a kitchen scraper, to try and remove as much of the glue as possible, although it had already started drying. But I didn't want to touch anything until I had changed. Of course, being junk journalers, we make do and try and fix our mistakes. So here I had wanted to use some gauze to put under the sentiment. So I just used what glue there was for that. And now I'm getting the sentiment. It's again out of a magazine or something. It just says, "Find your fairy tale." Again, I thought that was fitting for the theme of this journal. And I went ahead and sped this up. I think it's 8 times the speed, just because it was mostly cleaning up my mess. Here I'm trying to spread out the glue that had kind of dried onto the project. didn't work really well, but I wanted to be sure that it was more even than just having globs around. And of course, what's a fairy tale journal without some glitter? And this is actually thinned down glitter glue, but of course it's decided to clog my spray bottle, so need to try a different tactic. And this is watercolors that I had gotten, and the little tube had dried out, so I had peeled it all apart and then stuck the paint into this bottle with some water and hoped for the best. This one hasn't gotten clogged. This one is a green watercolor. The same basic thing happened, but for whatever reason, this one has clogged. I probably need to really rinse out my bottles. And I also need to look into getting one of those splatter brushes, because this doesn't give me exactly the look I'm going after. So this is after I had let it dry and it had gotten rather stiff from all the glue. So to try and get a little more, I guess, background, I decided to use some of my inks, and this is a four-sided stamp. I can't remember what brand it is, but I got it at Michael's when I was actually working there far too long ago to admit. But I really like how it has some multiple floral designs. And then these clear ones are, I actually found them at the dollar store. That is a Tim Holtz. That's a dollar store find. And then that one, the lace one, is also a Tim Holtz. And then all the wood block ones I've found at various thrift stores. I do need to invest in some more stamp pads though, or some re-inkers. But here I was trying to figure out what would work. I really like all of these stamps, but I decided to go with the more floral one because it's, I guess, less defined, more abstract, and I wanted the background to, I guess the best way to put it is to enhance the piece rather than to be the focus. I was really glad when the ink actually stuck on top of the glue. I was a little bit concerned that maybe it wouldn't. And then of course I couldn't leave the back undecorated, so I decided to keep the look going. I still wasn't quite happy with the coloring. The pink looked a little too summery, where the flowers and her dress seemed more fall themed to me. So I decided to tone down the pink ink. Yeah, where some of the glue had seeped underneath, it stuck to the book pages. So I wanted to also make those, kind of dress those up. And then I went back to my art glitter glue because that's actually coming out of the bottle. And I decided to make that into, have a pocket on the bottom there. It's not very big, but you can stick some tickets in there, or, you know, little things. I was trying to decide if I should put something over the messed up edges, but I kept running into a lot of the fussy cuts and things that I have are more spring and summer colors than the fall colors. was trying to figure out if that would work on the inside, but it just didn't quite look right. And I still keep going back to that rediscover enchantment. I really want to figure out a way to use that. As you can see, even when I've laid out a basic idea of what I want to do, it never turns out the way I pictured it. I always end up needing to make changes and additions, sometimes subtractions, but I really like that that's part of the creative process. It's kind of like when you're writing a story, you might outline it, but the characters can end up having completely other ideas of what the story should be about and where it should go. Art in general is like that. And yes, I only have the one brush that I use for almost everything. I also have a couple of little sponges, but they don't seem to work as well as the brush. And I don't worry too much about washing my stamps and things unless they get really dirty, but I kind of like the idea that I don't know what I'm gonna get. So this has toned down some of the brightness of the pink. So I decided there wasn't enough glitter. So the previous glitter that I had was more of a copper color, and this is more of a gold. Still wasn't happy with the blending of the colors here, so I decided to pull out some of my different watercolors that I have. I really wanted to use the bright orange and the more, I guess it's an ochre color, more of a golden yellow. Try and make those colors stand out a little more from the flowers, and pull some of the other colors from her dress. And of course, it always seems like the splatters go everywhere except the paper that you want it to go on. I also decided I wanted to intensify the orange parts of her dress and headband. Definitely wonder how many people are actually going to be interested in watching me do this in real time. It seems kind of boring to me, although when I was doing it, you get into the zone, you don't really pay attention to how long it's taking. And here comes a long stretch of me not talking. So that's why I added the music. It's free to use music from Pixabay. I put the name of the composer as well as the name of the actual piece at the beginning of this video. So this is that more golden ochre color that I'm adding. I also decided to add a little more color to the wings rather than just leave them plain copper. are just the finishing touches. So this is the final project. Hopefully you can see what I was going for. Still wasn't quite what I imagined, but I'm happy with it. Thank you for watching.